So if you haven't been able to tell, we've been buying some time for the weather to be nice to get our seedlings outdoors. We're not there yet, but we are much closer than we were before. We had some maintenance things we had to do on our seedlings, which is what this video is about, and most importantly, we had to get the ingredients for our soil mix for our raised bed, but that's another video, and we'll get into that when we get to that point. But like I already mentioned, this video is all about the little tips and tricks that we've been using to keep our seedlings healthy and thriving. So that's what I want to get into. That's what I want to talk about in this video. Let's go over seedling maintenance tips. The first and easiest thing that we had to do was we had to raise our lights. Our seedlings were sprouting up so much that they were actually starting to make contact with the lights. So we just raised them up ever so slightly so that those plants could keep growing, and as the plants keep growing, we'll just move the lights up with them. We've also stayed on top of lightly watering our seedlings. What I've been doing is I've just been gently spritzing them until the water just pulls up ever so slightly on top of the soil. Now, if you recall, we planted about 3 seeds in each cell, and the reason we did that, the reason we planted more than one, some of those seeds might not germinate, one might be stronger than the other. We just wanted to make sure that we get at least 1 seed to germinate. And out of those 3 seeds, we got about 2 seedlings to pop up in each little cell. So now we wanted to go through and examine those seedlings and find the strongest out of each cell and get rid of the weaker ones. So what makes for a healthy seedling? What we looked for were strong, sturdy stalks with lots of hair on them. The other indication that one was stronger than the other is if it had secondary leaf growth. When snipping out the weaker ones, you want to get as close to the soil level as possible, being extremely careful not to harm the stalk of the stronger one. Snip out the weak one and dispose of it. Don't be tempted to leave that in your planter tray or your cell flat. Just throw them away. Now, while doing all of this, you want to take note of any kind of problems that might be going on. In our case, one of our cell containers was not germinating at all, and it was actually getting moldy. In that case, we pulled it out and got rid of it. Then we simply just pulled our remaining flats out of the center of the tray and placed them back under the light. So we did all of that, things were looking really good, and then we made a fatal mistake. That's what happens when you neglect to water them for a whole weekend. So yeah, because of that, we lost 2 entire cell flats, one of those being all marigolds and the other being a tray of tomato seedlings. We also lost our nasturtiums and our zucchini that we had underneath our studio light inside the studio. So we learned a very important lesson here. Stay on top of your watering. This just goes to show you how important it is to water your seedlings daily and do not let them fall behind on that schedule. We did not do that for an entire weekend, and on top of that, we also made the mistake of leaving the lights on so they dried out even faster. Fortunately, we were able to save some of them, a decent amount actually, so we went through and we found the healthiest looking ones and transplanted them into bigger pots. So for the actual process of transplanting them into the bigger pots, here's what I did. I started out by filling them too much. Then as I got into a rhythm of doing it, I filled them about halfway before putting the seedling in. I then took our smaller cells apart and exposing the roots of our seedlings ever so carefully. I made a hole big enough in our new pots, put them in, and then backfilled them with soil. Then I topped off the soil, leveling it and lightly packing it in, making sure not to compact it too much. After that, I lightly watered them all until it slowly started to seep out of the bottom of our new pots. Once all of them were transplanted, I put them back under the lights inside of our grow tent. So that's where we're at, that's what we've done. We'll just maintain these bigger pots and hope for the best. Now that we got beautiful spring weather among us, it's actually time to get our soil mixed up and ready for our bed. But guess what? That's another video for another time. If you have any other questions on the products I use for this video, I'll leave the links in the description box below so you can click over to domyown.com and read more about them. And if there's anything I left out, or if you have any other questions on anything we talked about in this video, feel free to leave those in the description box below, email them over to the customer service staff, or pick up the phone, give us a call. And if you're not already, subscribe to the channel by clicking this button right here. You can click this playlist to see all the videos in the Do My Own Gardening series, and click this playlist to see all the videos in the Do My Own Lawn Care series. And as always, thanks for watching.